Welcome to Lesson 5, The Blind Men and the Elephant. Remember, we're in our unit and talking about early Asian civilization and learning about different parts and pieces of early Asian civilizations. Today, we're going to listen to a poem whose characters are from India. And we're going to be listening to another work that's fiction in India. And it's in the form of a poem. Remember, poems often have different rhymes or speech patterns going on. Before we begin our poem, let's go through our vocabulary words that we've been learning out throughout this unit. Again, I will read the word. You repeat that word after me. Fertile, source, represent, unjust. If I was talking about the flag of the United States, which one of these vocab words would we use if we're talking about the flag and how it shows us that it stands for freedom? What word would I use? That's right, I'd use the word represent. Again, we're going to be listening to another fiction story, and this is a poem. And poems are a special type of writing that have has a different rhythm and has rhymes and stuff that go with the poem. But they don't all have to rhyme either. Again, we're going to be also learning a lesson from this poem today as well. So after you read today's story, you should be able to describe the characters and the plot of the poem. Remember, plot means what happens at the beginning, middle, and end, what's happening in our story. And you're going to show a key understanding of the word resembles. So as you listen to our story, The Blind Men and the Elephant today, I want you to listen to find out how each of the men in this story describe the elephant. So I'm going to read this poem twice. The first time I read it, I'm going to stop and ask some questions. Then the second time I read it, you can either, this is for the teacher to decide, you can either have the students act it out or just listen to the poem again. It was 6 men of Hindustan, to learning much inclined, who went to see the elephant, though all of them were blind, that each by observation might satisfy his mind. So in that first little part of our poem, you heard the word observation, which means paying close attention to something. Each man wanted to satisfy his mind or his curiosity about the elephant by paying close attention to the details. The first approached the elephant and happened to fall against his broad and sturdy side. At once began to bawl or crow loudly. Bless me, it seems the elephant is very like a wall. Why does he think the elephant is like a wall? The second feeling of his tusk cried, "Oh, what have we here? So very round and smooth and sharp, to me 'tis mighty clear. The wonder of an elephant is very like a spear." Why do you think he thinks the elephant is like a spear? The third approached the animal, and happening to take the squirming trunk within his hand, then boldly up and spake, "I see," quoth he, "the elephant is very like a snake. Why does touching the trunk make him think that the elephant is like a snake? Does this illustration or picture show what the elephant really looks like, or how the blind man imagines it looks like? The fourth stretched out his eager hand and felt about the knee. What do you think the man will think the elephant is like when he's feeling his knee? So the fourth stretched out his eager hand and felt about the knee. What most this mighty beast is like is mighty plain, quoth he. 'Tis clear enough the elephant is very like a tree. Why does he think the elephant's knee is like a tree? The fifth, who chanced to touch the ear, said, even the blindest man can tell what this resembles most, what it most looks like. Deny the fact who can. This marvel of an elephant is very like a fan. Which body part resembles a fan? The sixth no sooner had begun about the beast to grope, than seizing on the swinging tail that felt within his scope. I see, cried he, the elephant is very like a... What do you think? What do you think the tail is like? It's a rope. And so these men of Hindustan disputed or argued loud and long, each of his own opinion, exceeding stiff and strong. Though each was partly in the right, and all were in the wrong. So let's go back to our beginning of our story, and I'm going to go through it again. This time, I will not be stopping, and if you want to be acting it out, you may. It was 6 men of Hindustan, to learning much inclined, who went to see the elephant, though all of them were blind, that each by observation might satisfy his mind. The first approached the elephant, and happening to fall against his broad and sturdy side, at once began to bawl. Bless me, it seems the elephant is very like a wall. The second, feeling of his tusk, cried, oh, what have we here? So very round and smooth and sharp, to me 'tis mighty clear, the wonder of an elephant is very like a spear. The third approached the animal, and happening to take the squirming trunk within his hand, then boldly up and spake, I see, quoth he, the elephant is very like a snake. The fourth stretched out his eager hand and felt about the knee. What most this mighty beast is like is mighty plain, quoth he. 'Tis clear enough the elephant is very like a tree. The fifth, who chanced to touch the ear, said even the blindest man can tell what resembles most. Deny the fact who can. This marvel of an elephant is very like a fan. The sixth no sooner had begun about the beast to grope, than seizing on the swinging tail that fell within his scope. I see, cried he, the elephant is very like a rope. And so these men of Hindustan disputed loud and long, each of his own opinion, exceeding stiff and strong, though each was partly in the right, and all were in the wrong. What a fun little poem to read. I love all the rhyming words. So how do those rhyming words add meaning to the poem we read? What was your favorite rhyme to describe the elephant? What lesson was to be learned from the story? Remember, when they told these stories back in ancient times, it would be to teach a lesson. What do you think that lesson of that story was? I think for me, when I read that story, it's to make sure you have all the facts before you give your opinion about something. So, our word for today is the word resembles. What sound is the vowel E making in this word? Now, we have this thing, BLES, and at the end, what sound is that ending BLES making? Yeah, it's kind of making a bowl sound, resembles. What do you think this word means? So resembles is kind of similar to represents in a way, but resembles means to look like someone or something. So Kia resembles her mother because she looks like her. I like this picture. These are two brothers probably, and they both resemble each other. Tell me about two people or things that resemble one another. For me, I really resemble or look like my brothers. We kind of look like twins. So, our word work activity today, what we're going to do is I'm going to read a list of three objects, and you are going to take two of those objects that resemble each other by saying, this blank resembles blank. So, again, this first one, I have three words. Two of them resemble each other. One word does not fit at all. So, the first one is a puppy, a fish, a dog. So your response should be a puppy resembles a dog because those look like each other. A girl, her sister, an ice cream cone. A pony, a lion, a horse. A computer screen, a television, a radio. Your activity today with this read aloud is you're going to pick one part of the elephant, like the blind men did, and you're going to compare that part to an object. This must be written out in one complete sentence. So you're going to find a part. It could be the same as the what they did, except you can't pick the same object. So you can't use the trunk and say it's like a snake. So you need to pick a body part from the elephant and you are going to compare it to an everyday object. And you need to write that out in one complete sentence. I hope you enjoyed our fifth lesson as we continued learning about different stories. We're going to go back to some nonfiction stories now. We're going to talk about our next read aloud of an important holiday from the ancient Indians way back in the day. I hope you enjoyed this.